What's up with it, guys? Hopefully you're having a blessed day. Hopefully everything's been going smoothly for you. I wanted to get on here and I wanted to talk about what generational curses was. Wanted to hit on the hit on the concept that what you don't heal, what you don't progress past, your kids have to heal, your kids have to deal with, your kids have to, or maybe not even your kids, it could be those who you live around, who you work around, anyone that you come in contact with. Those generational curses, or, some people might use the terminology of demons or bad habits, or, any of these different terms. Because that's all most of what anything is really just terminology. And, of course, certain terms resonate better with other individuals than it will with some. But generational curses I like just simply for the fact that it explains what they are, explains that there's something that you it's something that you pick up from your environment, it's something that you pick up from the way that you're brought up, the people you're brought up around, the type of environment that you are raised in. And we have to not do that. Yeah, killing yourself is never the answer. Especially because now more than ever, I truly believe that once you die, if you don't learn what you learned, you're gonna come right back. But I mean, that could be viewed as crazy from some. Oh, okay, sure. Where's this guy at? I guess we got him. But yeah, anyways, we all have these habits that we've picked up from our parents and our grandparents and our friends. And these habits continuously keep us in a fallen state to the point to where we no longer see the we no longer see the capabilities that we're able to do. We no longer see we no longer can see the impact that we can truly make if we weren't using up all of our energy just to survive, just to make it to the next day or whatever the case may be. Because for most of us, that's what the case is. Most people are spending up all their time, all their attention, all their energy on just surviving, just trying to make it to the next day, just trying to escape that feeling or ignore it or suppress it. That's a better terminology, not ignore. But they try to suppress it, and that's one thing that people have to realize that anything that's suppressed, yes, it might be quiet for X amount of time, but eventually when it starts to make noise again, it's going to be a lot heavier. It's going to be a lot harder to escape, a lot harder to try to ignore, and you're going to fall. You're going to fail the test. You're going to miss the mark that you set for yourself because of course each and every one of us has two dogs inside of us. And one of them wants to do what's easy, the other wants to do what's necessary for growth and necessary to become the best version of who you can possibly be. And we have to we have to suffer temporarily in order to achieve lasting growth, lasting pleasure, lasting
We're ahead, but stay alert. Marshall's people are no fools.
a lasting foundation that will never let you down. Something that will be there with you and will help you through any of the tough times that you may or may not encounter, but you will encounter tough times. That's all a part of the game that we live in. But at the same time, the tough times and the trials don't they don't make us who we are. They don't make us nothing can change you on the outside unless you allow it to change you. But if you would just with patience fight the good fight, lean on faith, faith on me, my faith is Jesus is who he says he is, and my faith is based upon that, and it's been growing based upon that because so far I have not been let down in any kind of way. I have been changing and growing in ways that I never even deemed possible. And that's why I want to be able to help or lead any people who are tired of being in the fight, essentially. Because most of us, that's what most people are in a fight. Most people are surviving, and they're fighting these generational curses that they picked up from their mom, from their dad, from their siblings, from whatever environment they were raised in. And we get brought up in this environment, and huh, we have to make difficult decisions in the moments. And after we make these decisions that we didn't want to make to begin with, then after that, we are put in a position to where our ego takes over and it ties that decision to who you are. And in reality, you aren't the decision, you aren't the trauma, you're not the choices. You're a collection of experiences that you've been observing. And you're the steady observer behind all the experience. You're the constant stream of attention that is watching your life unfold right before you. But you're creating the life that you're living by the choices that you're making. You are changing the world around you day in and day out unknowingly and in response to making decisions without knowing their potential impact, you're creating a life that you're not really fulfilled with. And it's because we have these generational curses that are attached to us that are making us, not making us, but they're kind of making us. Because in my study, in my theory, should I say, the flesh has a mind of its own in a sort of way to where it kind of does what it wants to do. And that's the ego side. That's the temporary. That's the angry, selfish, temperamental. Like that's that side of you. And that side, oh, no, that was in what I was trying to do. But that side has the capability to make or break you. And the more that you feed into the flesh, the stronger it gets. The more you reject the flesh, the weaker it gets. Like I say, we have two dogs. Every one of us has two dogs inside of us. and we can choose to feed one or feed the other, but you can't feed both. You can't serve two masters. The house divided against itself will fall. And that saying goes with the mind. It goes with what you're doing, what you're following, who you're worshiping, what you're worshiping, and anything in the flesh will fail you. Guarantee it. And maybe you're hard-headed. Maybe you'll have to learn the hard way. You probably will, because most people do. But at the same time, for those of you who will listen, I can tell you that your flesh is going to do nothing but let you down. And the more that it lets you down, the more you're going to be depressed, the more you're going to be anxious, the more you're going to be full of fear. And the more fear you have, the less faith you have. And without faith, we cannot truly step out and become the creator that we were always meant to be. We will be held back by the constant push of fear instead of the constant reinforcement and reaffirmation of faith. And that's why we have to fight the good fight. That's why even Jesus said the way is narrow. We have to kill the flesh. We have to kill any physical attachment to this world so that way we can take heed to each and every choice that we make, and due to that, the better choices that we make, the less stuff that we have in our conscience, the less stuff that we have in our conscience, and the less heavy of a heart that we have, the easier it is to play this game called life. And that's why, like, my goal each and every day, but especially in this, is to help you become self-aware. Say something that might resonate deep with you, say something that you might realize is true, that will help you keep the strength to keep doing what's good instead of doing what's easy. Because each and every one of us, like I say, with those two dogs, one of them wants the difficult things. One of them want to grow, want to spiritually change and evolve to become something better than what they already are. But then you have the other dog that's in the world who is lazy, who's selfish, who is unaware, who is contradictive, who lacks compassion, lacks comprehension. It's delusional. It's false. It's a false god in a sort of way. And we have to start moving and living for the greater good. That way we can. Wow, I'm sure he's annoyed. But we have to start living and pushing towards doing what is the greater good so that way we can create the life that we really want to live. Or we are going to stay in this fallen, defeated state, and we are never going to be able to break out of the generational loop that our parents and grandparents placed upon us. And of course, it's not to no fault of their own. They didn't know, they don't know, but we are accountable for each and every action and choice that we make. We are accountable for however we make people feel, but we're also very accountable for how we make ourselves feel. You tell yourself you're going to work out tomorrow and then you don't, you're going to let yourself down. You let yourself down, you're going to be depressed, anxious, fearful. But if you say you're going to work out tomorrow and then you do it, oh well, looky there. Now you're happy, you're motivated, you feel like you did something. And that's because we as humans we're made in God's image, so we are creators. We're here to create. And if we don't create, we're going to stay in a consumer mind state to the point to where we will do nothing except let ourselves down. And when we let ourselves down, the repercussions are a lot more detrimental than we realize. It's a lot worse than we think.
Neutralize all threats.
And because, I mean, of course, if you let yourself down,
We've claimed the advantage. Now
it's
hold
going to
it.
be easy to let down everyone else you come across. If you let yourself down, if you can't be loyal to yourself and your own word, how you going to be loyal to your word to everyone else? Like, it all ties together. And, just as the Hermetic principle states, as above, so below, we're all, everything is interconnected on the
We're taking
outside.
the lead. Stay on task.
The inside and the outside correlate together, but we have to become aware, because if we don't, we're going to stay
They've taken the
going
lead.
through the same loops every single day. And I guarantee that's what you probably do. You probably wake up, you probably smoke a cigarette or get coffee, or maybe smoke a blunt, maybe drink a beer, maybe have sex, something, maybe eat something that's fulfilling the flesh. Like, man, you do that. Once you do that, now you get up, you get ready for your day. You go get dressed. Maybe you take a shower. Maybe you don't. Maybe you shower in the afternoon. You get the car ready, get the kids ready, go to work, do the same thing every day at work. Leave work, come home, then you smoke, drink, have sex, eat, watch a little TV, and then you're going to sleep to do the same thing all over again the next day. And yes, us as humans, we are creatures of habit. So naturally, we are going to do things
Established overhead.
in a repetitive sort of mindset. We're going to do things continuously that do exactly like this. They're going to keep us hostage. It's going to keep us trapped in the exact same bad habits every single day. And you're never going to be able to experience nothing different because you're never going to do anything different. You can't experience a change of outcome if you keep doing the exact same process every single day. That's not how creation works. That's not how nature works. No. You do the same thing every day, you're going to get the same exact result every day. You're going to be depressed every single day. You're going to be empty every single day. You are going to be living a very shallow existence that is never going to fulfill you on the deep soul level like you truly crave. And we have to do our part. We have to work at it and aim to be good, aim to change every single day to break those generational curses, those bad habits, those chains, those demons, those weights. Any words you want to use, it's, it's different terminology, same meaning. And if you don't learn to fight the good fight of faith, learning to be patient, learning to have understanding, learning to have compassion, consideration, comprehension, you're going to stay trapped in the rat maze. You're going to stay trapped in the matrix. You are going to stay in a depressed, ignorant, self-absorbed existence that will never allow you to be truly free. Never allow you to fully break out of the loop that you're stuck in. and you're never going to be free unless you become self-aware. Never. Anything in the outside world that makes you come out of character, anything in the outside world that can trigger you, that can make you react, it has power over you. Anything that has power over you on the outside world is going to be more bad than good, easily. Now, of course, at the same time, it's hard to change, yes, but it's a lot harder to stay the same. It's harder to deal with the suffering of changing for the better, like working out. But, and again, this is just from my experience, but what I've noticed, it's a lot easier to deal with that suffering of change than it is to deal with the suffering of regret. And we have to live life to the fullest because you only get one. You're only going to be here, hopefully, to this tour, to learn what you need to learn, to pick up whatever it is you need to pick up. Oh, that's where he grabbed me. But our generational curses are going to keep us hostage to where we are here. They're going to keep us stuck in the same exact loop every single day. It's going to keep our heart, keep our hearts heavy, keep our mind distracted and full of noise. And we're never going to progress into the purpose that was designed for us. It's like I've stated before, each and every one of us have a purpose, but we can't actually. I'll let it load while I'm going out here. But we can't. We're never going to be able to break the generational curses that we have, unfortunately, had latched onto us by the ignorance of those around us when we were younger. We're never going to be able to break them unless you start to change your way of thinking. Change the notion that everyone else is the problem and accept the fact that you're the problem. Because even me, in my walk, in my day-to-day life, I'm the problem. I'm not going to point the blame at anyone else because no one else makes me make any choice. Nobody else makes me make any decision. I decide what I want to do 9 times out of 10, and then if it blows up in my face, then yeah, it blows up in my face. But I still hold myself accountable to stay aware of the fact that I am making conscious decisions, and through these conscious decisions, I am creating my life day in and day out, night in and night out. If I decide to stay up late at night, I know I'm going to wake up tired in the morning. If I decide to, I'm single right now, but if I decide to cheat on my wife, then yeah, I'm going to lose my family. Like it's a lot more common sense than people even realize, but most people don't. Common sense, for one, isn't common no more. Nobody has sense. No one's in touch with their senses anymore. Maybe that's why it's called that. Huh. But no one is able to step outside of the loop that is feeding the 5 physical traits. But I can guarantee everything you do, or most of what you do, is based around your touch, your taste, your sight, your hearing, and your smell. Every one of it. And all of what you're probably doing, everything that you're chasing, more than likely, is to numb, quiet, distract, escape falsely. But distraction and escaping is about the same main two things, but it's all to distract and escape from your mind. And each and every one of us, like I say, we got dogs in us that are hungry. We got dogs in us that are non-stop every day fighting over each other. Who's gonna win? Good or evil, light or dark? You know? And like I say, each path in itself is each path has its own difficulties, but the path of progress is a lot more spiritually rewarding than the path of regret. The easy path. The path of comfortability. That's really what the path is. Because that's the whole thing that's pushed nowadays is that, oh yeah, be comfortable. Oh, you're fine how you are. Oh, you don't need to change. Oh, you're this, that, and the third. I don't know. But it's all constant justification for your wrongdoings instead of people trying to say, hey, don't do that. That's not okay. People would rather be like, oh, it's okay. You were born that way. And it's like, no, that's dumb. Like, we have to start being accountable as people, because if we don't, we are never going to be accountable for our growth. We're not going to grow to become better just on chance. That's not how it works. We have to apply ourselves day in and day out in order to find what it is that we're missing, what it is that we've done lost contact to, what it is that is keeping us depressed, keeping us anxious, fearful, sad. And like for me, like it breaks my heart going around and seeing everybody be depressed. Everybody being lied to, used, abused. Like no one's word means anything anymore. Nobody's actions have any weight. Like we live in this horrible fallen reality now because no one is pursuing righteousness. And you know, there's even a big verse that's been in my mind recently that comes from a scripture, and it's the just shall live by faith. And for me, it's like it's one of those things that helps ground me, because sometimes, of course, I have an overactive mind just like you do. I overthink, I overanalyze, I try to plan and anticipate, you know, this, that, and the third, and it's done nothing but strip my joy and add worries to places that I couldn't even impact. And even like that sign says right there, we have to be alert in order to really live. You do. And most people have no self-awareness anymore, so most people aren't aware of why they make the choices they're doing. So because they're unaware of the choices that they're doing, they're constantly making the exact same choices of the, you know, just the way that their parents taught them. It's like, oh, you're upset, go drink a beer. Or do some shots. Or, you don't feel like working, go smoke a blunt. Or you're stressed out, go smoke a blunt. Or, you know, or, oh, you're feeling a little insecure, go hook up with that girl. You're feeling a little, you done let yourself down, go get you some tail to externally validate yourself. which will do nothing except make you feel bad in the long run. But that's why I'm trying to. I want to help you become aware of the fact that you are no longer aware. I want to help you become aware of the fact that you need to become aware so that way you can truly experience life as it was meant to be experienced. But right now, you're allowing your unconscious behavior or your shadow self, your subconscious, your the dark side, the dark in comparison to the light, whatever you want to call it. You're allowing that unconscious self, you're allowing your job, the school system, the doctors, and the government to create your life for you. So now, because you are empty and you don't know what to do, you are in defense mode, you're in survival mode, and you're consuming instead of creating. And if you don't create like you were designed to do, you are going to be depressed, you're going to be anxious, you're going to be full of fear. Because each and every one of us, again, we were made in the image of God. We were made in the image of our Creator, so we're going to be creators. Like that's simple. That makes sense. It's not overcomplicated. It's simple. And if you look around, any person who is truly happy is creating something in their own field. Now, of course, how I create and how you create is going to be very different because again, we both have different purposes. We both have different perspectives. We both have different bel truth and beliefs, and we're both living in two different worlds at all times. So naturally, yes, we're not going to create in the same sort of way, but with the way that my perspective has been organized or designed, been I've been fortunate enough to always be the outside observer, which I think we all have, but I I from my walk I've been able to see a lot of people. I've been able to talk to a lot of people. I've been able to learn from a lot of people, observe a lot of people, and because of that observation, because of that outside experience, and because of how my viewpoint has been set up, I I care above all else for truth, yes. But I don't care for temporary, like, I don't care about the truth that doesn't truly help. The truth, the things that I say, the things that I know are meant to help you, help reveal something to you. Because from my perspective, I can understand human psychology, the sociology, I can understand the inner workings of the human mind to the point to where I know that I can help others because of course I've grown in my own I've grown in to a certain understanding in myself to where I can understand the outside world now. I went from being asleep, selfish, empty, misguided. Like I went from being that person to being someone who now does absolutely believe in a higher power, who does follow the path of Jesus Christ. who is aware of how his actions are creating his life and his reality, and how each and every day I can either be stepping towards the path of purpose or the path of pleasure. And because we are creators, our true pleasure comes from being a creator. But in today's reality, my apologies, we base pleasure on this temporary feeling instead of basing it upon facts, instead of basing it upon logic, intuition, and love. Excuse me. And that's the big issue with today's society, is that love, which is the ultimate creative force, which true love is sacrificial, and it's patient. It's not going to boast itself up. It's going to be long suffering. It's going to understand. True love it's sacrificial. And in today's reality, we've been put to this point to where each and every one of us are living in this false love, which is lust, and it's temporary. And even our pleasures, we're going after the temporary pleasures of life instead of going after the eternal pleasures of the spirit. And like I say, you can make a life worth living. You can make choices that push you to become a better version of yourself. But you have to do it. You have to make the conscious decision to change, to repent of your flesh, kill the flesh, and grow into the spirit, grow into your purpose, grow into who you were truly meant to be. But that all starts with you breaking your generational curses. That all starts with you doing something different than what your parents did, what your grandparents did, doing the different than what your whole environment did, what the environment still is doing. And if you don't do something different, the generational curses are going to continue to win, continue to beat you, and continue to keep you trapped. Yeah, I knew that was going to be the kill cam. Here I am again. Yep. But you have the choice. Because whatever you don't break, your kids are going to have to deal with. Your girls don't have to deal with. Your boys don't have to deal with. Your friends will have to deal with it. Your family will have to deal with it. Those you love will have to carry the weight that you weren't strong enough to let go of. But again, it's only you can make the choice. But thank you for listening. Hopefully I helped. Hopefully I said something that might have resonated with you. Please like, please subscribe, please comment. I'm trying to build a community here so we can grow in truth. We can all grow in understanding. We can all grow to align with our highest self and become intact with our Father above, with the right hemisphere of the brain, with our heart as it's truly meant to be. And we have to keep being whistleblowers in order to do something different. And I'm going to keep blowing my whistle until I can blue in the face. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy. Peace.